Hello, welcome to Time Between Times Storytelling. My name is Owen and I'm here on the eve of a special day as I record this. The eve of St. David's Day, the patron saint of Wales. So here I am on February the 28th as I record this, waiting for the big day tomorrow. Now I know that many of you who listen and watch these videos don't come from Wales. So we'll take a little break from what we usually do and just tell a few short tales about Dewi Sant, Saint David, as he is known to us, our patron saint. So, here we are. Sun is shining outside. The spring is finally upon us. Perhaps things are starting to look a little bit brighter. So sit back, relax, and join us at the Time Between Times. The Time Between Times. The time when it is neither night nor day, but the sun has gone and the sky is grey. The time when the veil between our world and the fairy world grows wafer thin. So thin that for just a few moments you can reach into their fairy realm. And for a few moments they can reach into our realm. The time between times is the time that people see ghosts. It's the time that people see lights in the sky. It's a time of story. So sit back, relax, close your mind to all the bad things in life and open it to all the good things. For just a few moments, let things pass you by and lose yourself in the time of story. Welcome. Many years ago, around the year 500 AD, there lived a young woman called Non, who was with child. The king of Ceredigion, where she was from, did not think much of her, and although she was heavily pregnant, he would not grant her shelter, give her food, or even anything to drink. And when she was due to give birth, Non was outside with nowhere to go as the thunder rumbled and the rain beat down like forks of lightning from the sky. She staggered through the ground, making her way over hills, over farmland, through forest, trying to find somewhere where she could give birth in peace and in quiet. And finally she made her way to a cliff top overlooking the sea. As she walked up towards the edge of the cliff, a light started to shine, and she was drawn to it. Making her way there, as the wind blew in her face and almost pushed her back down the hill, she settled by a tree overlooking the ocean. And there, just over that tree, even though the storm raged all around, the clouds broke and the sun started to shine on Non. Far out to sea, she could see the ships tossing and turning and barely staying afloat on the ocean. She could see the people running in the streets below, trying to get into their houses. But where she was, the sun was shining, and there was no wind, there was no rain, and it was there that she gave birth to a young boy called Dewi, St. David. When he was being baptized, she took him to the baptismal font, and a monk made to baptize him. The monk was blind, and when he placed the baby in the baptismal font, water splashed out onto the monk's face, and he was able to see once more. One of the first miracles that St. David was to have done. As he grew older, he became a famous preacher, a famous man of God, and people would gather around to listen to him, hear his prayers, hear his sermons. There was once when there was a great drought in Wales. It did not rain for weeks and months, and all the land started to become dry. And it is said that St. David came with his staff, placed it in the ground, and the water rose, and the plants grew, and people were able to eat and people were able to drink because of the miracle attributed to him. The most famous one of all was once when all the people of all the kingdoms of Wales gathered to hear the great men of God talking. Thousands of people stretched out all around, and as the bishops started to speak, none of them could hear. They all shouted and screamed, and every bishop tried to give a sermon, but nobody could hear what they were saying. was St. David's turn, although he was not a saint at this time, it was Dewi's turn. And he stood there, placed his staff in the ground, and the ground underneath him rose until he was stood upon a hill. And then a dove came and landed on his shoulder. And when he spoke, it was like a bell ringing on a clear day, and everyone who had gathered could hear what Dewi Sant was saying. Everyone could hear what was said. A miracle, a true miracle. In 589, so they think, on March the 1st, was the date of his death. And as he lay on his bed, it was said that angels gathered around him, and all his followers also gathered. And they asked him what was important in life. And his last words were, Gwnewch y pethau bychan. Do the little things, is what he said. The little things. Do the little things has become a famous saying in Wales. So, that's when he died. It was about 500 years after that he was made a saint, and ever since he has been the patron saint of Wales. Dewi Sant, Dydd Gwyl Dewi, St. David's Day. Men wear a leek or a daffodil on their clothing to show that it is St. David's Day. When I was young, it used to be the girls would wear a daffodil, the men would wear a leek. But now it's interspersed. Anyone can wear anything. It's not a national holiday, although many would like it to be, but it's still a day when we think and we celebrate Dewi Sant on Dydd Gwyl Dewi. So, if you take anything from this tale, Gwnewch y pethau bychan. Do the little things in life. That could be kindness, could be just saying some kind words to somebody, offering some support to somebody, or doing something little for somebody else. And if that is the message of St. David's Day, then it's a good message. And there we have it. That's our tale today for the time between times. A short one for an important day. But thank you ever so much for joining me. Please like, subscribe to the channel. We are growing in number every week, and for that I am very, very grateful. Diolch yn fawr. Have a great Dydd Gwyl Dewi, and I will see you here next week. Diolch yn fawr. Take care.